Hello and welcome back to our Wednesday stream.
Little special stream this week, though, because as many of you have been seeing all over our social media channels, we just launched our first YouTube channel. Hooray!
And before we go into anything, just for those of you who are still watching on the old YouTube channel, we are currently dual streaming on the new one and the old one. So I think in 10 minutes or so we're going to switch completely to the new one. So make sure to go to the new channel. And Nurgle will post a link in the comments, I think. At least that's planned.
We'll make sure not to leave anybody else behind. The plan is to add a lot of new content, especially for City Skylines. And to do that, we wanted to have a hub just for City Skylines because we have a really large player base. It's lots and lots of players and YouTubers and creators, modders, the works. So we hope you'll follow along with us. And we're here today to talk more about that channel,
answer your questions. And later we actually also have Jason with us, who will answer questions around the first City Builder episode. But before we start with that, I think that's your first city stream, right? You were before on Surviving Mars and so on, but it's your first city stream, right?
Oh, yes,
so
actually.
Who are you?
I didn't even realize I have to introduce myself. I wouldn't have shown up if that's the case. I'm Jonathan. I am the community manager for City Skylines. I've actually been working on the game for 4 years now, ever since it launched. If you guys remember Totally Moo, he was the old community manager at Paradox when the game launched. And him and I worked together with different PR and Simtropolis and doing interviews, everything for the game release. That was a long time ago, so I sometimes forget. But now I'm actually living in Sweden as a full-time employee and, nice. Working with Luca here to do a lot of new content. So there's my introduction. I actually came prepared today, though. I have the one and only Chirpy shirt, if you guys can see that.
Well, not even I have a Chirpy shirt.
I found this. A lot of our Paradox players will appreciate this. We actually have a dungeon here at Paradox Interactive. It's a hidden secret dungeon that is just jam-packed full of merchandise.
You can't tell people about the dungeon.
Oh, well, good luck finding it. Plus, it's booby-trapped anyways.
Okay, fair enough.
I had to go down there with...
with the guide, yeah, I know.
Yeah, very experienced support.
Nice.
But, got one of these shirts going. Everybody loves Chirpy. That's just showing my dedication.
Great. So, okay, let's talk about what's happening. So, we launched a new YouTube channel. So, you already mentioned a little bit why, but maybe we should elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, let's dig right into it. We have been putting together a plan for 2019 to really ramp up the community, and we really wanted to put a big focus on you guys, the community, because we've been working with a lot of these creators from all around the world of every kind of profession, male, female, young, old, every single generation and culture that you could put together. That makes up our City Skylines community. We're easily the most diverse community for almost any video game you'll find. And that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
We have got some really unique creators all around the world, so it's like, why aren't we letting them create content for us? So let's get a camera, get a microphone, and put them on screen.
And also create content for them, right? Because, like, I don't know if you already saw it, but we're going to have another look at the first City Builder episode and see what AmiPolizeiFunk actually did with the game, or Jason. Cool, but yeah, we're here to answer questions, and maybe like since I don't see questions yet, besides the shirt, where can I get it? And we already answered that in the dungeon, if you can make it to the dungeon. Maybe like what kind of content can we expect in a new YouTube channel?
Yeah, so we've been putting together some lists, and I'm just going to start naming off some things. So we have this City Builder series that we're going to be doing once a month, so we will have 12 of those in total for this entire year. Hope you'll follow along with those, because these are really high production videos. And then aside from that, we will obviously have announcements and trailers, new releases. All of that content will be available for you. We are working on tutorial series, which will give you a very professional overview and guide on how to create these amazing creations. Because, I mean, what's the point if you watch other people make these amazing cities, but you can't figure out how to do it yourself? So we're going to have the professionals help us out with that and teach you guys how to make incredible cities. So those will be very focused. We'll have some for expansions and some for other content as well.
I like that you looked at me when you said when you can't make them yourself. Thank you very much.
Because you already know my opinion on your city building skills.
Well, yes. A lot of people have opinion on my city builder skills.
Well, I mean, we need lots of posts for spaghetti junctions. So, I mean, it works.
Wow, that's the worst anybody ever called my junctions.
Spaghetti junctions, that's kind of a compliment, right? I mean, they're some of our most popular posts on Facebook.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay.
We will also be expanding a lot of our creations to console. We know that a lot of you console players love the game, and you're looking for more content for console specific, and we are working on bringing more of that to you. And we will also be working on different kinds of highlight videos that will be for people like modders and content creators for the community, and along with a few different events and live streams. Most notably, we're working on a plan to return the global build-off and similar events to that. So that was a really popular event that we did last October. Again, using our community and all of these creators to make some really high-quality productions. Yeah. And we hope that you will notice that quality level in our channel, because we're not just throwing together just some various gameplay footage. We're actually have a full team involved here that's making these into some really quality productions that even the creators we're working with, we hope will be very happy with and be able to show off. So that's going into all the different content, but what we really need to know from you guys is, what content do you guys want? We have some ideas, but why don't you have at it and tell us what you're looking for in a YouTube channel? What do you want us to show off? Any specific creators that are your favorites?
Maybe very quickly, because we get a lot of questions regarding the new update. Yes, we're fixing it. The reason I looked at my phone just now is because I was checking. We're looking into that right now regarding the update issue with the new patch. Yeah,
we'll obviously keep the bug fixing and support coming for all of our platforms. So
how did you feel like me taking you completely off the rails with something completely unreal?
Oh, don't worry. I'm kind of used to that as a community manager. We know how important it is, so we hope nobody ever feels ignored. But yeah, it's nice that we have different departments within our team that even though we're sitting here talking with you now, we have people literally working on fixing these issues at the same time. So don't feel like we're putting it off.
Yes.
Let's see here. Questions about expansions. New expansions are always on the table. We don't have anything to announce yet, but always at work.
Yes.
Modding.
I mean, like, if people like would like, you can, if you do a deep search on the web, maybe find something out.
Well, we're not going to give our console players any more hints. I've had a few people asking me today if we will like announce early the announcement that we've already put out there. And I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the announcement, right? Those announcements going out tomorrow, you're going to see some content on our channel and all over social media. So if you are a console player, yeah, just keep watching, subscribe,
Yes.
And you'll get all the information. We promise we're not going to let you down. What else have we gotten on here?
So quick reminder, Paradox Extra, the live stream there is going down soon, like within the next minute. So please click on the chat, on the link in the chat, to switch to the New Cities YouTube channel where we actually continue streaming.
Perfect.
And there it is. Sorry.
Yep, there's the link. $2.20 is actually one of our favorite creators. We're in talk with him again because we really do want to bring him back for more tutorial videos. So I think it's pretty likely you'll see more of him around. I see some questions here about someone was asking about showing off maps on videos. And my personal favorite is a map creator called Mr. Miyagi. And he's always been great to work with. We've actually talked to him long ago about doing some different map packs. Perhaps we'll bring those conversations back to the table, but he's always been interested in making more maps for the game. Also, Aquila Soul makes some really, really good maps, and we work with her as well on multiple projects for this year. So, yeah, I think you'll see a lot of different content. Aside from that, Jason actually made a Berlin map, which you can download on the workshop. He recently did a Shanghai map, a 1-to-1 scale ratio.
That's really cool.
Do you not follow us on social media, Luca? No, it was a big deal because it came out with a modder who made light trails as a mod.
I read that, yes.
It was really cool because you took the Dragon interchange or whatever it's called from Shanghai, which is a really famous, well-known interchange, stuffed it full of cars, and then used this light trail mod, and it just looked incredible. You can still find those posts on social media, or just, we'll let Jason tell you more about that. But yeah, he worked with actually a map creator in Shanghai for that collaboration, so that was pretty neat.
There was a really interesting suggestion before in the chat, but it's just going too fast. He said we should have somebody on that's actually explaining the game from a professional standpoint, like actually a city planner who did it.
We do have a few urban people who actually have degrees or professions in urban design. So a little bit of that content is planned, but maybe we should get them up on a stream.
Yes.
I don't think we've planned a stream yet, just some video content. Yeah, because I know. What was it? BuzzFeed did that video where they had a professional city planner come in and play.
I saw that. That was
Maybe we
nice.
can reach out to that guy. We have some connections with BuzzFeed and find some city planners. The real question is, though, should it be an American city planner or a European city planner? Because you're going to get two very different opinions. Maybe
What do you think?
Actually, maybe we should get them both on here. I bet
that
we
would
could
be
get
interesting.
some lively arguments. I tell
God.
you, every time I bring up like optimal urban design among like our modding beta with all of our really professional players, they go at it. One of my favorites to listen to is a creator called Armesto from Spain, and he will tell you exactly what, like, he knows everything about urban design. He'll tell you about different cities and how they were built, and obviously everyone will argue with him, but I think I think our chat here is actually going more European.
Yes, European. It's just nice to have like a curvy road.
Yeah, but this is coming from a German where everything is based around trains.
What?
I know, that's a problem here because everyone likes trains.
Yes, trains are great. Press F for respect to trains. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Then we had another question. If we could give a hint on who will be in the next City Builder episode.
Ooh.
I would say a good hint is, so it will be a YouTuber more than a modder. But that's all we're saying.
Yeah, because we found people that had different, I guess, themes or backgrounds, and
exactly.
Yeah, they're pretty unique. But in that group of 12, I think we're planning on have a couple actual professional YouTubers in there. So, yes, there's some really neat content coming up.
So, Ben Stanley, thank you. Trains.
Indonesian is best. You know, I actually found a new Indonesian YouTube channel. They did this really cool video lately where they made this slum area next to a river.
Yeah.
And I reached out to the creator, and we're actually going to see if we can collaborate on something. But that would be pretty neat if we could get some more Indonesian players.
To be honest, I think actually, like what we're talking about when we say European American is like the street layout, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Asian culture is very like European and Asia is very similar in the way that cities were built in the old times, right, in the Middle Ages and so on. And so I would say the street layout is very similar. It's only when you have the freedom of completely planning a city from scratch that you can go the American way.
Well, there are a few European cities like that.
Yes, which ones?
Ones that got leveled and then got rebuilt. We were talking recently about a city in Italy that got completely leveled by an earthquake. So they rebuilt it in a octagon shape. It's actually, we got a lot of people posting about that design. But
that's very nice.
yeah, various natural disasters or war have made for some really interesting city layouts when those cities get rebuilt. And you'll see, you're right, you see a lot more of that history in Europe. And I think that's actually a really good segue into going into Jason's video, because part of the reason why he's such a phenomenal creator is he actually knows and understands Berlin. He is really one of the most well-informed people I've ever met. When I visited Berlin for my first time, this is last year after PDXCon, he showed me around Berlin, and I mean, he could point out everything, even like Hitler's secret bunker. So he knows that city like the back of his hand.
Do you want to hear a fun fact about Berlin?
Let's go for it.
There's this huge government square, right, where you have the House of the Chancellor, you have the Parliament, Reichstag, and everything.
I remember.
And all of them are very modern, or like modern 90s building, because after reunification. And there's one building which is quite old, and it's the Swiss embassy. And they basically said, like, we want to have this government square and we will buy all the properties from the people there. And all the different embassies said yes, except for the Swiss. They said, no, we're not selling. So now they have like their embassy right next to all the government buildings. So yeah, quite funny.
It's an amazing city, and even cooler when it's completely recreated in City Skylines. So let's actually pull up the video so you guys can watch that with us. Yeah. Can we get Jason on first so he can actually chat with us while we're watching?
So basically, the reason we're having him afterwards is so we can set everything up while the video is running.
Ah, okay. Got to do the mic check so Jason doesn't come in, just shouting at the top of his lungs. That'd be a little awkward for us, wouldn't it? All right, let's get the video started then. You ready?
We're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling. Uh-oh.
We're already rolling.
Where's the action? Come on. Where's the little thing with the numbers? Okay, let me get out the...
That's great.
What gives me the greatest amounts of satisfaction is when I nail it. That like when you're building something, when you're making an asset or you're putting a tree or a fence, or if you get like enough of the right things in the right places, it passes what I call the feels right test. Does it feel right? Like if you do it all wrong, it just won't feel right. But then if you nail it, you get this, it's an incredible feeling. My name is Jason Dittmars, AmiPolizeiFunk in the gaming spectrum, and I make assets for City Skylines, and I'm working on a one-to-one Berlin build. I'm an artist. I studied fine arts. I have a Master of Fine Arts from the Chicago Art Institute, and these days, when I'm not playing City Skylines, I'm also helping artists create interactive installations. I'm independent, I'm freelance, so I work on my own terms. I love Berlin. I absolutely love it. My mom was born in Ludwigsburg during the war, and then she was transplanted to America, and so I'm kind of coming back to my roots in a way. The wall coming down in '89, I was a teenager, and that world event kind of shaped my growing up. So Berlin, as far as personal history and just world history, 20th century world history, it's such a fascinating place. I like to say it wears its history on its sleeve. You can see the 20th century history on the buildings, on the architecture. It's the center place of 20th century world history. I mean, it's where the East meets the West. You know, my Berlin build in City Skylines, one thing I really love about it is that I can take assets from everywhere. The game comes with a vanilla set and it comes with a European set. And then there's a Russian community that's making Russian buildings. But for Berlin, I can grab pieces of all the different communities and squish them all in here. And that's how Berlin is. It's native to Berlin to be that center focus point between the East and the West, and I love that about it. My whole life, I've been interested in interactive art. Of course, I'm a fan of art history. I love paintings that are static works, but my favorite artists are 20th century artists like Jean Tinguely, Marcel Duchamp, these guys that start making kinetic stuff that interacts with you, interacts with the viewer. And so this build that I've got going of Berlin, I mean, it is interaction defined. That's how you experience it, you interact with it. I got the game 2 years ago, before I had any mods. You know, I mean, my first attempt, you look back at that city now and you're just like, oh, you know, what, oh, you know. Brandenburg Tor was one of the game's assets, so I had that. So Brandenburg Tor, that was like one of the first things I plopped. I have 60 objects on the workshop. Some of them are just props though. There are only a few that are sort of major creations. And then there's my first building, the International Handelszentrum, the very simple blocky one, which has 80,000 subscribers. So I marvel at the idea that this thing that I've made, it's around the world, it's being used, interacted with by these gamers. The idea of the workshop, of sharing buildings between asset creators and gamers that use them, fascinates me. This is something new, I think, you know? This ability that we're making this thing, all of us together, it's this global collaboration. Love it. There's like a dozen maps of Berlin that you can get on the workshop. And so I picked one that I felt was the most realistic and then just started going on that. And I worked on that, on his map, for 1.5 years. I mean, frequently too. We're talking about, you know, 8 hours a day, like crazily, you know, like obsessively. It got kind of crazy there. And actually, I was running into scale problems. And this was a discovery. I didn't know this until I'm trying to place these huge assets that I've made. I've made these big office complexes, you know, and I've upscaled like the Reichstag and Brandenburg Tor and the Rotes Rathaus. I've made all these things one-to-one. And then they didn't quite fit. Because I'm trying to build Berlin one-to-one. But the map that I was working on, I discovered, was actually 4% smaller. You know, and it was just 4%, but that 4% was just always like a thorn in my side. I could never get things to fit correctly. And so when I got back from PDXCon just a few months ago, you know, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I started on version 2. And version 2 was me making the map, me making the overlays. See this rotating thing under this clock? Yeah. We got it. And it rotates. You see the lights in the patio? I got those. I mean, there are areas of this new map, this version 2, where I've put hundreds of trees exactly where they go. Then I started to really build Berlin. I mean, my build, the sun rises where it rises in Berlin, and it sets where it sets. You know, I've stood on the Reichstag roof, and I've watched the sunset over the park, and I know where it sets. You know, so much of what I'm doing, I just know it. You know, even down to like an elevation of a street. Well, that street goes up a bit there. So I'll get that, you know, because I bike everywhere. So I know where the hills are. So I'll get that in, that has to be in there. You know, the elevations of the streets have to be right. Because I know when I'm coasting down a road or not, you know, and I know where the sun sets. And so when I get all that stuff and it passes the feels right test, that's the most satisfying moment.
Welcome back.
What'd you think, guys? We can see from the comments here we got some pretty high compliments. I think you guys are here to hear and listen to Jason, so we have him on a call now. So Jason, want to say hi?
Hello, Twitch. What's up?
Yeah.
That was fun to watch with everybody.
We are super glad to have you on for tonight. This has been an incredible launch for our YouTube channel, so thanks for being kind of the star of the show. Yeah, we want to tell us a little bit about the filming of this video, because that was a little while ago.
Yeah, I think like in general, if you guys out there have questions, ask them, we write them down, and then when we get time for them, we're just slipping them in. Besides that, we're going to ask some questions. The two of us, we're not actually involved in the production, so we have a lot of questions around that. But yeah, take it away, Jason.
Thanks.
or well, yeah.
I think it was shot in November. I think this whole project is the brainchild of Matthias at Paradox, and Billy was the DP with the new fancy camera with the gimbal, and so they came to Berlin, and you know, when they pitched the idea to me, Matthias said, we want to do something where you guys are, you know, like reframed as artists. And that was music to my ears, because, you know, I'm trained in fine art, and that's my whole jam. So when he said that, you know, I was just like, yes, finally someone that understands me. So, you know, like I was just really excited about the idea of the project, and you know, them coming here and shooting me in my apartment and then shooting us walking around Berlin. It was a dream come true, honestly, because I always wanted a way to express this build I've been doing, but I'm not a YouTuber, you know, I don't make like weekly episodes or anything, so this was my opportunity to finally get some like moving images going of what I've been working on for like 2 years. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we really wanted to focus on as well is showing off your creation, which you've been working on this for 2 years. I've really only been in contact with you for about a year, or a little more than a year, when you were making a contest entry for PDXCon. But you want to tell us how you got started in City Skylines and why you started this Berlin recreation?
Yeah, I was actually late to the party because Skylines, it's been out for like 5 years now, right? And
4
you know,
years.
Okay, 4 years.
We're not that old.
I started this Berlin project the day I got the game. You know, like it was basically when I got the game and started playing it, and I saw that there was this Brandenburg Tor asset. You know, like I found a map with a river through the middle. You know, the river didn't go anywhere like the Spree does in Berlin, but it was a river through the middle, and you know that map existed, so I plopped that Brandenburg Tor, and I was like, well, the park would go about here. And I'm playing all vanilla, you know, I didn't discover the workshop yet, or mods or anything. And so I actually have a save game of that first Berlin build, like that's vanilla, that's just me guessing where everything goes, and it's really funny. And, you know, like for example, like for the Fernsehturm, you know, the big TV tower with the ball on the top, I used your nuclear reactor. Whoa, you guys have me in the background. That is weird green screen.
Oh my god, yes.
Make it stop.
That actually makes me feel a little worried
Yes,
too.
can you put up the old overlay again?
I should give you the cut reel of just the scenes from the city. That would work nicely there. But yeah, anyways, goofy. So I mean, I had this desire to build Berlin from the very first day I got the game, which was like 2 years ago. I was late. Everybody said, "Yo, you'd like this. Get this game," you know. But honestly, I have to admit, the cartooniness of it and the chirpy and all that. That was kind of like I don't want all that cartoony stuff. You know, like I want the real deal. No, but I love Chirpy now. He's won me over. You know, over time he's won me over. I have a little plushie right next to me. Yeah, exactly. He's my man now. I got the Surviving Mars version with the little astronaut hat.
Good choice.
Maybe we'll have to make a Berlin version someday, but.
Ooh, well, yeah, that could be done. I mean, traditionally he would wear some kind of like Soviet ushanka or something like that, you know, because like it used to be that when you walk down the center of Berlin, there would be all these people selling trinkets from like GDR and Soviet times.
Yeah.
But now maybe he would just wear like the Ampelmännchen or something, you know, little crossing guards.
Oh yeah.
Berliners would know what I'm talking about.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. We just need to be careful with the time period we're taking it out. Then it's fine. Okay, so there was actually the first question around here, which was like, if you could choose another city to build, any, which one would it be?
Oh, well, I've already kind of made the first steps in that direction, and that would be my hometown, which is, I grew up in Pacific Palisades in Los Angeles, so that's West Coast. It's like between Malibu and Santa Monica, and my parents still live there, and I go visit there frequently. I try to get back, you know, like once a year or once every 2 years. And so, you know, after I made the Berlin 1-to-1 map, I was thinking, you know, I know how to do this now. It'd be fun to apply it somewhere else. And so, you know, I guess I'm just sort of sticking to my thing, which is build what you know. And so I know LA, like I've driven all those streets. I know where everything goes, you know, and so I made this like West Side LA map. And if I was ever going to, you know, keep going with another city, I would start building on that one. I haven't built on it at all yet. I just sort of did some freeway work. But then I'm not just a one-trick pony. I did also make the Shanghai map, which I don't know anything about. I know nothing about Shanghai. I've never been to China. I've never been to Shanghai. And everything that I created in that project was like virtual tourism. It's like I was just learning about it all fresh. And I was, you know, I had no perspective at all. But thankfully, I collaborated with AmiPolizeiFunk, who is like the king of Chinese asset creations. He's made like 300 roads, and you know the road editor only came out, you know, like 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and this guy has made 300 custom roads. It's like an entire network. And so like the deal was, I'll make the map and elevations and the rivers, and I'll make it all 1-to-1 in true scale, and I'll do all the trees and resources and all that stuff, and you do the roads. And he, you know, like his English isn't like the best, but we emailed each other, and you know we were able to get the project done. We had conflicts, you know, just in any collaboration, there's always some conflict, but we got it done.
And can I just ask, like, how do you go about like launching in the map or in a city that you don't know, right? Like, do you go to Google Maps and just go Street View and go around, or you just like Shanghai is supposed to look like this?
Yes, and yes. It's like there's this whole, you know, browser research session that goes on, and you know, I love Google Earth. I'm a fan. I've spent so many hours looking at Berlin and Google Earth. Like I know that 3D mesh so well that when a little area gets updated, I notice it the day it happens. You know, that's like birthday present for me is
a true story.
No, it's true. Like Brandenburg International Airport, right? The airport we've been trying to build for like 10 years. Like it got a new mesh update, and it's like the detail is so incredible. You know, they fly these planes over with like 8 cameras and everything. I mean, the details are so incredible that you can read the like small text on the signs and stuff, and that blows me away. It's such a thrilling thing when like a part of the mesh gets updated. So I'm doing that constantly. But for Shanghai, it was a bit of a nightmare because there is no Google mesh. You know, like certain cities, like Google just, I guess their governments just don't allow Google to go there. Like Moscow, Shanghai, like some of the most interesting cities in the world, there is no Google mesh. So you got to go to any resource you can get your hands on, you know, pictures, Street View. I mean, thankfully I had AmiPolizeiFunk to guide me, and he had lived in Shanghai for like 5 or 6 years. So
walk around town and get it yourself.
I wish. Although I am a bit afraid of the pollution, though. I mean, I've like, you know, thinking about Shanghai, you know, I see these people wearing masks and stuff, and that just scares the shit out of me, to be honest.
Well, that's okay. We got green cities for that. It's we got plenty of services to help with pollution. I was going to go back to because you talk about collaborations, and I know that you work with a lot of creators. Besides actually making and playing the game to do Berlin 1-to-1, you actually make your own assets, and you've worked on some of your own streets, and you work with other creators. You want to talk a little bit about how you've collaborated with other people for this Berlin build?
Yeah, I got to give out a shout out to Sven Berlin, who is here, and there are a couple Berlin creators. Like when I first discovered the workshop, my first download, Sven had made this memorial to the wall, and it's just down the street from me. It's literally I could walk to it, and it's a very peculiar memorial. It's not like world famous. It's like one tiny section of the Berlin Wall that's preserved. And across the street, there's this, like, they built this tower so you could walk up the tower and kind of look down on it and get the city skylines, bird's eye view. And so Sven had made this asset. He'd made two parts, like the Berlin Wall part that plops on one side of the street, and then the museum part that plops on the other side of the street. And when you're first going to the workshop and you see all these mods and you see all these assets, you're a little nervous. You're like, do I really want to try one of these? Is it going to break my game? There's a lot of like anxiousness at first.
Yeah,
right.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. So what pushed me over the edge of, I got to hit subscribe, is Sven's asset. The fact that he had made something from my neighborhood and he had done it with such care that, that was the first asset I ever subscribed to. And so once I got that asset, then you go in game and you plop it and you're like, wow, this is great. Someone did this. And through this Berlin project, I've actually met 4 or 5 people, either city skylines enthusiasts that live here in Berlin and are creators or coders. I give shout outs to like Martin aus Berlin, who made the Hauptbahnhof, which took him like a year, and then the Federal Ribbon, which he spent a year on, and to Bloody Penguin, who is one of the most prolific coders on the entire workshop. He is originally from Siberia but moved to Berlin, and he works here now, and so we're friends too. We had a little meetup, and I've met Twitter followers who have invited me to come into the buildings that I'm working on and see them from the inside. I mean, how cool is that?
So much, doesn't it?
Yes, it's the great. I was like going to every balcony on his floors and taking pictures down into the little courtyards. I mean, I think that's why I've stuck with it for so long, is that the community is so fantastic.
Oh, that's music to my ears. I love hearing that. It's nice to know that the game really applies to your own community, and you actually get to bring it to the community, not just the other way around. But
when there was one question, and we answered it before, but let's just do it again. Can people find your map on the workshop?
Yeah, sure. Am I allowed to post links in the? Because actually, I released an asset today in sort of conjunction with this whole video thing, and I did the Soviet Memorial Tear Garden, and I've been working on that project actually off and on for about 2 years. I think I started with like the tanks and stuff, just ages and ages ago, and I've been adding little parts and pieces and color balancing it and props. So let me try to throw that link out.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Nurgle just gave you permission. Yeah, no
Right,
problem.
perfect. There's permission to link. I was going to pull up your tier garden. Let's bring that up now.
Can you show it also on the screen, Nurgle?
Yeah.
No, screen. I mean, like, yeah.
There
exactly.
we go. So this is your workshop. This is what you're talking about. I don't even want to try pronouncing these. I'll leave that up to our Germans here.
I mean,
but,
it's SMT Monument. Soviet Memorial Tiergarten.
This one
It's
here.
half English.
Auf Deutsch ist schwer. Sowjetisches Rennmal-Tiergarten, oder? Richtig?
I think, yeah.
Sowjetisch. That's the hard part.
Yeah,
This
Sowjetisches
is way beyond my skill.
Denkmal.
Rennmal-Tiergarten.
Okay,
Genau.
guys.
Yes.
Do you realize that this is an in-game asset? I mean, this is incredible detail.
Yeah.
I
Did you
wish
actually
I could-
write the memorial inscription on it?
I tried to get everything I could.
Oh my god.
Most of the text
That's
are
incredible.
from my own photographs and just my own, like, from going there. I've visited it a bunch of times, and really the hardest part of all of this was the soldier himself, because I'm self-taught with Blender. I had no idea how to use Blender before I got this game, and needed to learn it to make mods for this game. So this soldier here is He's the first real figurative sculpture I've done, so that was a challenge.
I can only imagine how difficult that would be.
Yes.
It's well beyond any ability I have here. That is seriously incredible. So you can see the picture we have up on screen. Where's PDXCon going to be? Because we were talking about that earlier. So,
Berlin! It's in Berlin. I can't wait. It's so cool that you guys are coming here. Because,
I mean, you guys can't see our mouse. Oh, wait, they can see our mouse. So I think, if I'm correct, PDXCon is going to be just a little bit across the river from this park. You said it was like 15 minutes?
No.
No? Am I wrong?
It's a little bit fun.
Well, you guys haven't announced the location yet, so I'll just keep my mouth shut on that.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly near that park. That
Oh,
park
well, I
is
don't know anything.
This is
dead
the
center.
center.
Yeah, that's the Reichstag in the
It's all
background.
Berlin to me. I don't know the difference. East, west. What's the difference?
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah, Berlin is an incredible city. Easily one of my favorite places I've visited. Anyone who wants to go to Berlin, just download the map that Jason has made and plan your tour here, and then you can go hit up Jason on Twitter and go get some beers. Sounds like a pretty good plan, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having beers with as many of you as possible in October. I'm so thrilled for that. I feel like I'm the host, you know? It's like, I know it's your convention and all, but I feel like I'm the host. Like, come to Berlin, I'll show you around. Let's
Guided tours, maybe. We'll set that up.
anything you like. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we are very excited to keep working with you in the future, and I'm sure we'll have plenty more from you. I know you said you will probably never finish this project because Berlin's always changing, right?
That's right. And they build buildings faster than I can recreate them in City Skyline.
Wait. Are we talking about the airport? That's like the airport is going
The greatest
like for...
exception.
Sorry?
That's the great exception to German
There's no
efficiency, right?
I mean this, and do you know about the train station in Stuttgart? Like
No.
That's like going on for like 10 years or something and costs multiple billions. It's yeah. As soon as it's big buildings, we can't do it anymore. It's not working.
All right.
We have a good question actually here. How long does it take you to actually make buildings, like assets?
Well, it all depends on the building, I guess, and the level of detail. Like an example, Trepp Towers was an incredibly complex office with like 5 sub-buildings and hundreds of props. I actually spent a month on that. Park Inn was the same way, like a whole month on one building. But then there are other buildings that are, like a simple, like a hospital or a residential building that I can crank out in, just a couple days. Like, in fact, for PDXCon, when I submitted, I actually built the location of the last PDXCon, that car factory in Naka. I modeled that. And I was able to do that little entrance house where you first walk in to go to the convention in one. Because I had gotten the date of the due date, I had gotten it confused by a week. So I thought I had a week to build this house. But then I realized that I was off by a week and I only had a day to build the house. And I got it done in a day. It was crazy, but I got it done.
Wow, yeah, that submission was like we basically so we did to give you some backgrounds. We did a competition on who can build the nicest city that looks like a City Skylines logo at the end, and people handed in their how do you call it? Submissions. Thank you. And we had a lot of really good submissions, like great ones. But like when it came to voting, it was basically anybody disagreeing with this one? No,
because it came in at the last moment too on our forums, and just like blew everybody away. Like, I think, really we really did have some good submissions, but we all agreed that Jason needed to come to PDXCon, and we're really glad you did, because that was the start of a great working relationship, as you called it, exploitation. But
but I actually have a question. Let's say somebody actually wants to start something like this, start building their own city. Maybe not like a megapolis, but let's say they're a small village. How should they start about this?
Well, let me give you two-part answer. Say you want to make your own asset. Say you've never made an asset, you've never used like any type of CAD program like Blender, 3ds Max, or whatever. My story is I followed a tutorial. There was a tutorial on Steam about like how to make a billboard. You know, they'd given you the model, they'd given you the texture, and all you do is like switch the texture in, right? And you make your own billboard. And I was like, well, I could do that. I can switch one image for another image, right? So I got started with just making my own billboard, and I had just seen like Mad Max Fury Road, so I made a Mad Max billboard. And it's to this day my first asset on the workshop. Like, oh, this is freaking cool, you know? Like you learn how to, you know, import it into the game and then submit it to the workshop, and you're like, well, that's not so impossible, you know? So that's how I got started with modding, just something super, super simple. And then as far as getting started with building cities, I think, you know, like what's a real inspiration is just browsing the workshop. And if you see an asset that you just are blown away by, you know, there are so many. Like the top of the workshop, it's amazing how active it is. Each week, there's different stuff from incredible people from all around the world. And just, you know, like find one that inspires you, download it, you know, grab a map and plop it and go from there. You know, like you get inspired by, you know, what people are creating or what you want to create.
Yeah. Actually, quick
Great
question.
advice.
Yeah. Where can they find the competition details? So this was last year, so it's not active anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, but you can find the submissions on the forum.
Yeah, so Paradox Interactive on our forums is where we'll always kind of host these competitions, but we always post about them on social media. We'll probably even pull some more contests like that this year, so be on the lookout for more opportunities to come to PDXCon 2019, right?
I'm curious, is there going to be a competition for 2019?
Yeah, we decided to do whoever can make the best Berlin recreation will get a free ticket.
No, I'm really curious what it's going to be. I want to see what people submit.
Yeah.
So someone has to like take my crown.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, it's quite far off still, so we don't know yet exactly. But it's definitely something that we're going to consider because the submissions last year were really great. And they, yeah, especially now with like the new YouTube channel, we actually have also a platform where we can really show off the creations.
Now we can require like full videos instead of just images. So
yeah.
Oh man! So not only do they have to build something awesome, but they have to like do a production to shoot it. So that's what I loved about the fact that you guys came here to do all that, because I didn't want to do all that. That's why I was so thrilled that you guys did all that. Like, so like shot the video, the editing, all that. You guys did cool sound effects too. I love it. I must say, I love the audio that you've done, the music, and the like little trains wishing by. I have to, you know, like that's not in-game audio. That's Paradox working magic and making everything sound awesome.
Yeah, actually, on the videos for the competition, that's still something that we could actually do internally, because we tried something with the submissions for last year and made it in little videos. Thank you. Sorry, little videos. But then one of our releases got in the way, and we couldn't. They didn't fit into the schedule anymore. But yes, like we're trying to not only like create work for you guys, but also then enable you to create something like the video that we had here, because at the end you should focus on cities and not on making videos.
You guys play the game, and we'll add the train sounds that make it sound really cool. So we're good at that. And that's what we kind of talked about at the beginning of this stream, and why we're launching the YouTube channel is because we want to bring you this really good content in a very professional, you know, in collaboration with Paradox Interactive way. So we hope that we're going to give you quality that everyone feels happy with. So Jason, are we accomplishing that so far?
Yes, good start. You
Great
put
start.
the bar pretty high.
He's like,
though,
who could do better than me now? I feel bad for the next person in the video series.
I don't mean it by myself. I mean it by the production quality. You guys put a lot into this first one. I'm hoping that, you know, it's going to be a challenge to keep the level that high. Like you've fucked yourselves. Let's say.
Wow.
You want to do 12 of these in the next year? Good luck.
Well,
actually, I can't wait to see the next
Challenge accepted. We will have plenty coming. So yes, there is a Discord where the modders are able to help each other. We also have a wiki page that has a lot of support, dozens of guides all over Steam, and
How do people find the Discord?
where is that? I think that's posted. It's in the City Skylines Nation. It's a Facebook group. I guess we could just go ahead and just post it on our social medias. We haven't posted it in a long time, but
Let's do that.
yeah, we'll make sure that there's visibility on that Discord group because I know how Discord works. It's an invite system, which makes it kind of difficult. But yeah, we'll get that going. They can always use some more creators. It's actually pretty active. I think there's like 4,000 or 5,000 people, if I'm not.
I don't know. I'm not a modder. Like
Jason, you know the answer to that because you've checked out that Discord channel, right?
There's a couple. There's the creators Discord, and then you mentioned Facebook. I think the Facebook Skylines Nation is massive.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
that's actually run by
a good
a lot
place.
of our creators.
Meet people and share stuff, and then there's Reddit, but me personally, I post every day a new pic on Twitter. Like that's really, if I could grab some followers from the chat, follow me on Twitter, guys.
Yeah, we will be sure to post your Twitter handle so people can keep watching your new creations, as we do with a lot of our different creators. So yeah, everyone's able to hopefully follow along both with us and with you as a creator and keep subscribing to your new content. So
we have 1 minute left, and there was one question that that came up again. Oh no, it's actually not for you. It's for Sven. Berlin, I guess. If he made any recent assets. So what do you think?
I can answer it.
Okay, answer
I
it.
can answer it. Sven made an asset at like 5 a.m. yesterday and published it. It's an office building in Vetting, and it's right by this huge park, and it's got this very strange, like football-shaped office tower, and it's awesome. So yeah, Sven just made a brand new asset. Go check it out.
maybe we should just get Sven on here. We'll just bring him in for a stream next time. He does make some really awesome buildings. The first one of his I downloaded was that movie theater, the Cube, that had
Cubics Berlin, yep.
yeah, with the star. He had 3 different kinds, which was like, this was groundbreaking at the time. He made 3 assets, and they had a Star Wars, I guess, a big banner on one side, and then there was one for, I think, Harry Potter, and then I forget what the other films were because they weren't as good as Star Wars.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, that was it.
What?
Yeah, I know
Not
the
as
asset
good
you mean.
as Star Wars?
Uh-oh. Okay, that's probably
We
a
came
good
to the
place to
wrong
end,
channel.
guys. Alrighty, thank you all for joining us. As a reminder, we would really love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have prepared a lot of good content for you, and tomorrow especially, we have some great announcements and releases coming for console players, but there will be content for console and PC coming. So, yeah,
Yes,
tune in.
Please subscribe, hit that like button, or
Smash that
help
like
the channel
button.
on Patreon. I'm kidding about the Patreon part.
We got to start doing the cheesy YouTube lines now, like
Yes, exactly.
smash that like button, smash that like button.
Or if you could buy a T-shirt from the channel, that
Oh
would
yeah,
be great.
our merch store is going to be linked after this video. No, we
no.
won't go there, guys. We promise. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us. It's really been great working with you, and we will talk with all of you later.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Berlin for PDXCon.
That'll be great.
We're going to have some fun. Thanks for having
Yes.
me. It's been a blast, and I hope this YouTube launch is successful, and I can't wait to see the next creators that you're going to feature.
Yes.
Oh, thanks again, and that's a wrap.
Thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye, everybody.